week has been filled with contrasts. I attended 2 different funerals, but we also had the opportunity to have one of our grandchildren stay with us as his parents went to the hospital to give birth to their second child. I have experienced a whole range of emotions: sadness and sorrow, joy and happiness, and let's not forget fatigue. Don't misunderstand me. I enjoyed immensely having one of my grandchildren in our home for a few days. But that does not mean that I am not ready to collapse. One of the funerals was in Pittsburgh, and I drove out and back in the same day. I'm not sure how doing nothing but sitting in a car can be so physically exhausting, but I ended the day drained. There's no way around it. When we experience the loss of a loved one, it takes its toll, physically, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. But the same can be said for new life. Babies are draining and exhausting. It's a good exhausting, but exhausting nonetheless. They demand constant care and attention. Whether you're a parent, a grandparent, or someone else giving occasional care, it certainly is a change in routine, a shift in what is considered normal. As I considered this, and I thought about it, I realized that much of our lives are consumed with things that deplete our reserves, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I spent a few minutes at the beginning of a leadership meeting this week talking about soul care. Sometimes I think we feel like it's selfish to say we need to focus on ourselves. And it can be, depending on our motive. But the reality is, if I don't take care of my own soul, I have nothing to give to others. I think that's why Paul, while addressing the leaders in the church at Ephesus, told them to keep watch over yourselves and over the flock of which the Holy Spirit has made you overseers. Or, as the English Standard Version puts it, pay careful attention to yourselves and to the flock. Paul realized that in order for the church leaders to care for the people in their charge, they first needed to care for themselves. That means paying attention to the things in your life that feed your soul, as well as the things in your life that drain your soul. I don't believe this is a challenge that is only for church leaders. Every single one of us has the opportunity to speak into someone else's life. But in order to do that, we must first make sure we have life to give. Are you doing enough to care for your own soul? A common greeting in our culture is simply to ask someone the question, "How are you?" And the expected response is, "Fine." We give our response without even considering how we are really doing. As we talked about this in our meeting this week, someone posed the question, what if the question we ask others is, "How is your soul?" Would that cause us to stop and think critically before we gave a pat answer? Are you investing in your own health, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Make sure that you are healthy so that you can help others to be healthy. Remember the words of Jesus. What good will it be to someone to gain the whole world and yet forfeit their soul? So let me ask you the question, how is your soul?